Baltimore Orioles.
How far is this thing gonna go?
On Acid.
He got it.
And streaming live on the Latin app. It all starts right now.
A sweltering hot Saturday at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Part of Armed Forces Weekend. The folks from Annapolis, the midshipmen, are in town to see the Orioles and the Rays. But not just any old Orioles-Rays game. Good evening. Kevin Brown, Hall of Famer Jim Palmer with us shortly. So how's your Saturday been? It's been 1,083 days since the Orioles in June of 2019, June 3rd to be exact, had the #1 pick in the Major League Draft for just the second time in franchise history. 30 years after they chose Ben McDonald, our own Ben McDonald, with the 1-1 in 1989. 30 years later, they took a catcher out of Portland, Oregon, Sherwood, Oregon, to be precise, a suburb 18 miles outside of Portland. Oregon State's Adley Rutschman, the first pick in the 2019 draft, the consensus #1 prospect in Major League Baseball, is finally here. He was added to the roster today. He is in the lineup. He is catching. He is batting sixth, and a day long awaited by Orioles fans is upon us. Jim Palmer, you have seen a lot of debuts. You've seen a lot of #1 picks over the year. You know that one player does not change everything for a team. Baseball is a team sport, 26 on the roster, you need contributions, but it's okay if today and this player feels like a little something more.
You're exactly right, and I'll actually turn my microphone on and you can hear what I have to say. He's a catcher, and I think that's one of the reasons they drafted him. It's really between Bobby Witt Jr. You know, I talked to a lot of scouts. They love Bobby Witt Jr. because he can hit. He's already in the big leagues. You know, it can steal some bases or whatever, but when you get a catcher, we saw a little bit with Matt Wieters, who can really control the running game, control the pitching game, also a switch hitter that has a keen eye. I mean, we're talking on-base percentages at Oregon State at over 50%. You're getting a dynamic player. So, yeah, he probably won't play as many games as Witt, but when he does, he will be an impact player. And, you know, this year, Robinson, Chirinos, Anthony Bemboom have done a nice job defensively, but they're 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. So you're hoping, you know, as the Orioles 13th in runs, that when he comes in, it's going to be a better offense. You'll win more games to score more runs, and kind of like what they did the last 2 nights.
Walk-off wins the last 2 nights. Adley Rutschman and the Orioles trying to keep the good vibes going on a Saturday night.
And that's why he walked. Because he was the #1 overall draft. A superstar bat. A superstar.
He was 8 years old and said he wanted to play Major League Baseball. I was dead set on being a professional baseball player.
I'm saying when a guy's ready, you bring him up.
Absolutely walloped to right field, and that's all, folks. Rougned Odor, his 3rd career walk-off home run. Anthony's got the Gatorade bucket ready for him tonight. Back-to-back walk-off homers. A magical week in Birdland. Adley Rutschman far from the only story this week. Walk-off home runs in back-to-back nights for the Orioles, who have won 2 straight. And moments ago, Adley Rutschman onto the field as a big leaguer for the first time. Shook hands with Andy Fletcher, and then with a standing ovation behind him. Everybody tells you enjoy the moment in your big league debut, and few actually take the moment to soak it all in quite like that. Adley Rutschman behind the plate. His battery mate Kyle Bradish. They'll face this Tampa Bay starting lineup. The Rays 23-16 in their 40th game. Randy Arozarena off a 4-hit night, batting 4th for Tampa Bay.
Now take a look at Kyle Bradish. Outstanding stuff. You know, you did the game in St. Louis. Hard to go in there and win. Struck out 11, 7 innings. So he's got all the pitches. Will his command be good? He only throws about 49% of his first pitches for strikes, so maybe that'll be a little bit better. And you get Kiermaier with, you saw Rosarina with 4 hits. Kevin had 3 last night. And they were all left field.
And at 7:06 p.m., Adley Rutschman's Major League debut officially begins as he calls for a fastball that is fouled away by Kevin Kiermaier on the sticky Saturday night. 87 degrees. May the 21st of 2022, and Adley Rutschman, who is known as a soft receiver behind the plate, receives a called strike 2.
And by that, of course, it's how you receive the ball. Soft hands, catch it out front. And we'll see you later there. One thing about Kyle Bradish, talked about the 11 strikeouts in St. Louis, had a great slider tonight, which he does have, but he also is in the mid-90s. So there's 3 96-mile-per-hour fastballs. Throws a cutter, or the ball cuts. I'm not sure he does it on purpose, but the ball cuts back. Kiermaier kind of gives up on it. So one hitter, 3 pitches. Kind of like that.
And that feels like a rather appropriate way for the big league career of Adley Rutschman to begin, as he receives another called strike. Since Adley Rutschman was drafted in 2019, the first thing we heard about him was that some scouts thought he could be in the majors defensively from the day he was picked. The bat was very good always. The bat has grown, but Adley Rutschman has been known as an outstanding pitch framer, as a great defensive catcher, and already those skills are on display. 0-2 for Yandy Diaz, and Diaz down swinging. Rutschman will apply the tag. This is a dream start for him, and maybe even dreamier for Kyle Bradish, who's punched out the first 2.
Well, the immaculate innings, when you throw 9 pitches and they're all for strikes and you get 3 punch outs. Well, he's now 3 pitches away. Talked about the slider in St. Louis. Here's the slider in Baltimore tonight. Unhittable.
11 strikeouts, no walks for Bradish in that game against St. Louis 2 starts ago. One of 2 pitchers in Major League history to have 11 strikeouts, no walks within his first 3 career starts. The other, Steven Strasburg. Here's the first ball of the game. It's up high to Ji-Man Choi, the Tampa Bay first baseman. Rutschman with the wristband of the scouting report. His family is there. His mom Carol, his dad Randy, sister Josie. A wonderful interview with Rob Long on the pregame show. Made the trip in from Oregon this morning after Adley found out last night. And pretty nice for Rutschman that not only does he debut, he gets to debut with a pitcher he was very close with in the minor leagues last year. Kyle Bradish making his 5th career big league start. Choi pops one up and out of play for strike 1.
Yeah, the high velocity, the cutter gives him a lot of movement. So it's just a matter of controlling it. You talked about it last night with Ji-Man Choi. He's a very disciplined hitter. They pitched him great last night. Not a lot of power, but he drives in. You know, he's hitting over, what, 333 with runners in scoring position, so he can hit in the clutch. So far this year, he's hit lefties. Doesn't get that pitch. But he pretty much hits on his terms. He makes you throw strikes.
Choi was 0 for 6 yesterday in the Orioles' 8-6 13-inning win, their longest game since 2019. And a ground ball foul here from Ji-Man Choi. 3-2 as we look at the Oriole defense.
Yeah, hot humid night. Big ballpark, bigger. Hayes, Mullins, and Santander. Your outfield. Nevin played first last night, but Teo, a couple of errors. Odor with a walk-off. Mancini, DH. Now he's playing first. And Adley Rutschman doing the catching. Hard not to notice that.
In the familiar crouch for 3-2, and Bradish wants his battery mate to go through the signs again. A payoff for the number 3 hitter Choi. 97, so the extra velocity is cooking for Kyle here in the first. Brandon Hyde, 4th-year manager of the Orioles, took over the job before the 2019 season. This is the first time he's seen a player drafted by the Orioles since he got here into the big leagues. Bradish, of course, drafted by the Angels, traded to the Orioles under Mike Elias and Sig Mejdal. Rutschman, the first draftee from that O's class. On 3-2, he tried to frame a slider, and Choi works his way on, courtesy of Andy Fletcher saying that was a little bit low.
Which it may have been, but it looks, I mean, this, I think he fools the ump too. Caught it. You could see him bring it up a little bit. Watch the glove come up just enough. Maybe that didn't sell it enough, or maybe that movement causes Andy Fletcher to figure, okay, it was out of the zone. But very, very close pitch. But again, that's what G-Man Choi is about.
Just a 257 hitter, but a 360 on base. A walk for Choi. And now Arozarena hammers a hanging breaking ball deep left center field and gone. Out into the Oriole bullpen. Randy Arozarena mashes his 3rd home run of the season and his 10th against the Orioles in the last 2 years. It is Tampa Bay on the board first.
Yeah, really good fastball hitter, but this time you want to speed up the bat and get the ball. Last night, I mean, he had 4 hits, only 1 hard, but watch this hanging slider. So 87, not 97. Bat head gets out in front. You're kind of hoping it's hit to Elrod's corner, but sails into the bullpen. Last year's American League Rookie of the Year.
405 the distance there from Arozarena.
See what plate discipline does. Choi works the walk. You get the big guy up. And then kind of does what he did in the playoffs in 2020 when he hit 10 extra base hits, or actually make it home runs.
So the 5th home run allowed in 5 starts by Bradish. And now Harold Ramirez socks one in the air. Foul territory and out of play.
Take a look at our StatCast powered by Google Cloud for Kyle Bradish. He does have all the pitches. 4-seamer, throws it 50% of the time. Then he throws the slider. That was the home run ball. Curveball 9.5%. You can see the batting averages, but again, those are very low percentages when you look at the changeup and curveball. Slider and fastball, his predominant pitches.
High fastball here, punched out to Santander. The Orioles will bat. Adley Rutschman due up 6. See if the O's can work him to the plate in the bottom of the 1st. With us tonight, part of Armed Forces Weekend. The Orioles rocking the camouflage hats in honor of the Armed Forces here on this 21st of May. Here is your Oriole lineup. 16-24 for the O's, 11-10 at home. And Brandon Hyde puts Adley Rutschman in the 6th spot in his major league debut. And this is maybe as fun as Brandon Hyde's had filling out a lineup card in his 4 years. Ryan Mountcastle is back. Trey Mancini's been red hot. He's in the 3 spot. Nice balance when you can have the walk-off home run hitter from last night, Rougned Odor, all the way in the 8 hole.
Yeah, and they'll face the lefty Jeffrey Springs. So he kind of assumed the starting role when Josh Fleming didn't pitch well and was sent down to AAA Durham, coming off his longest start of his career against Toronto. 4 2/3 innings, 76 pitches. Primarily, against the lefties, fastball, and he's got a good one. I mean, it's not a high velocity, but a lot of spin rate. I thought he maybe was going to get that pitch, and so he's fastball slider against the lefties, and then fastball changeup against the right-handers.
Got a called strike there.
Well, he wants to pitch up in the zone because, again, the 4-seam fastball. I was talking to Brian Anderson, who does their color, former left-handed pitcher. He said he kind of pitches like the strike zone's a pyramid. So, he uses the corners and then he works up in the zone. And there's the slider. Take a look at the defense behind him. Usually pretty good. Arozarena, he makes the key error last night. 3-run error. Kiermaier, all kinds of gold gloves, platinum gloves. Phillips, 99-mile-per-hour throw. Diaz, Walls, Bruhan, Choi around the infield, and Francisco Mejia doing the catching. Came in late last night. And there's the slider.
And Mullins down swinging against Springs. 21 strikeouts now, 22 innings for the 29-year-old Jeffrey Springs.
Yeah, he got the pitch count down to about 14. So obviously on a hot, humid night, I'd like to stay around that.
The reigning 2-time American League Manager of the Year, Kevin Cash, won it back-to-back seasons, looking on. Used every reliever he had available yesterday, except for Andrew Kittredge, who's still a little bit banged up. Austin Hayes, the batter, in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Kevin's done a nice job. A catch and throw guy coming up through the big leagues, raised and born in the Tampa area. I mean, when you win 577 games and you lose under 494, 4 division titles, you can manage, and they can, they do a great job. Highest payroll, I think, ever in their franchise history, all the way up to $78 million. It's about a quarter of what the Mets are going to spend, about maybe a little bit less than a third of what the Yankees and the Red Sox and maybe even the Jays will end up spending.
1-2 for Hayes. Austin with a tying single in the 11th inning last night. The Orioles trailed by 2 in the 10th, tied it. Trailed by 1 in the 11th, tied it. Neither team scored in the 12th. And then the O's walked it off on Rougned Odor's 2-run home run in the 13th. Hayes 1 for 5 with a walk in that 2-strike, 2-out tying single. And Austin is late on a fastball here. Back-to-back strikeouts for Springs.
Yeah, right up the pyramid. Gets ahead, throws strikes. Very rarely do you see somebody throw a fastball by Austin Hayes. Now he gets him to chase because of the count, gets the 2 strikes in a hurry, and then just goes up the ladder.
So Springs, who's in the top 1% in the league in terms of chase rate, has induced a couple of those already. Will face Santander, and Anthony not chasing on ball 1.
Yeah, came over from the Red Sox along with Chris Mazza. We saw him early. He's had some physical problems, so he's working his way back. For Ronaldo Hernandez, who's hitting 119 down at AAA Worcester. So you gotta think the trade so far has favored the Rays. Got a starting pitcher that seems to, and I mean pitcher, not a thrower, a guy that can pitch a little bit.
Well, pitchers are going to like a little bit of a wider strike zone tonight, it appears, from Andy Fletcher behind the plate. Santander also had a tying hit in extra innings yesterday. 2-run single in the 10th for him after the game-winning 3-run home run on Thursday. Power continues to surge. 7 home runs lead the team, 21 walks to lead the team, and second only to Hayes in both slugging percentage and in on base plus slugging, or OPS.
So what, the first 2 Rays strike out, then you get a walk, then you get a home run. So the script, let's be fair here, Santander is going to walk, and then Mancini is going to hit one out of here, and we'll start over.
From your lips to my ears.
See,
one pitch away now.
Yeah, he hears me.
You might be onto something.
I would think he'd get, he doesn't want to pitch around to one of the hottest hitters in the American League, Trey Mancini, even though Santander, I'd rather throw a solo home run than walk him and face this guy, and maybe the ability to tie it up.
And he goes on to the breaking ball on 3-2, or the changeup off speed. Changeup that moves a little like a breaking ball for Springs, who has very good movement on that changeup. Fastball moves well side to side as well for Kyle Snyder, the great Rays pitching coach. 3-2 for Anthony, and that ball grounded to third. First ball put in play for the Oriole hitters is right to Yandy Diaz. We'll wait for the second for Adley Rutschman's first at bat with a 2-0 Tampa Bay lead. Secretary and his staff have had their heads on a tilt-a-whirl today. A lot of moves for the O's. Adley Rutschman, of course, the headliner. His big league debut selected from Norfolk. Anthony Benboom designated for assignment. Ryan Mountcastle back off the IL from his wrist injury. Mike Baumann came up to give the O's a fresh arm. And both Logan Gillespie and Nick Vespi, who made their big league debuts this week, were optioned to Norfolk. Rutschman, of course, the headliner, informed to the news last night.
And Vespi gets his first major league appearance and a win. Like that right there. 1 pitch, 1 out, I think.
Yes,
and I hope he
is.
got hurt. Nope.
Mancini tagged the base to be sure as Vidal Brujan grounds out.
Yeah, he's got great speed, and the throw again a little bit up the line, but very routine. And drops the arm. You know, talking to Tony Mansolina, who is the infield coach, he said, you know, it's a little bit harder to work on your stuff. You just have to kind of get the more reps. Dropped his arm, ball tails, and he doesn't tag him.
Good thing he missed the base.
Yeah.
Ball one from Kyle Bradish to Brett Phillips. RBI double yesterday in the 10th inning, put the Rays on top. And then Nick Vespi, as you mentioned, would come in eventually in the 12th and 13th. 2 scoreless innings, got his first big league win. He was simply sent down because the Orioles used so many relievers yesterday. They needed a fresh arm. That fresh arm is Mike Baumann, who is on 3 days rest, as the Orioles used 6 relievers yesterday. You certainly won't see Aiken, not likely to see Baker Tate or Perez tonight. Bautista and Lopez have thrown 2 of the last 3 days, so O's will hope Kyle Bradish can get the most of the way there, and then Baumann may be after him.
Yeah, the good news for me, I mean, I thought Anthony Bemba would certainly would have liked to have hit better, but he really can catch. So hopefully he'll stay in the organization. Gillespie pitched well, Vespi pitched well, so they weren't sent down because they weren't doing a good job. And that's when your organization gets better. You have some options, not only being able to send them to the minor leagues, but options to bring fresh arms up, as you mentioned. And Baumann went down to get more innings and work on his command. Thing about Perez, who, you know, he came in yesterday, but he only threw 6 pitches, all strikes.
On a 3-2, Phillips hooks one to first, and Trey will take it to the base again. Tonight's Maryland lottery. Fast play Rich's bases loaded contestant of the game, Teresa Phillips from Mount Airy. Teresa has already won $500 and will win $500 more for each Orioles home run hit tonight. Enter your Fast Play Home Run Rich's bases loaded ticket into My Lottery Rewards for your chance to win. Find out how at mdlottery.com/homerun. Two down here is Francisco Mejia. And Bradish with ball one and a curveball.
I think you maybe have to tell Andy Fletcher when you're going to throw a breaking ball, because that's pretty good. You can't throw it any better than that. Now, ideally, you'd like to have that in a 2-strike count. He probably would have chased it. Well, maybe you're not going to get the low pitch. You can kind of see the body language. Thought that ball may be on the plate.
You know, we have all sorts of umpire grading systems now, and we don't know Major League Baseball's official umpire grading system. But Andy Fletcher does grade out as one of the more inconsistent umpires in the game. And so, hey, just one more thing for Adley Rutschman to figure out in his big league debut. What's the strike zone going to be, and how can you pitch to it?
Yeah, Gabe Morales, he umpired last night. Well, maybe, and then he got tired because he left. There's only 3 umpires tonight. Oh, no, he's down there. So he umpires what? He had the Orioles threw 161 pitches, Rays threw 155 pitches. So that's a lot of work. And he, what do you think he missed? Maybe 5 balls, and maybe we're a little bit up.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, he had a great night.
Over at third base tonight, Gabe Morales, Chris Siegel second, Bill Welke at first. And he flicks away a 2-2 from Bradish. Francisco Mejia off the bench yesterday was 0 for 2. Both teams exhausted their benches yesterday, used all 12 available position players, as the Orioles won consecutive games via walk-off home run for the first time in 7 years. August 2015 against Oakland, Machado and Davis.
Taylor Walls waiting on deck, the switch hitter shortstop. Kind of interesting. Wander Franco gets thrown out the top of the 13th on a great tag by Bemba, and then we find out he's been having some quad problems, so he gets the night off.
Here with a pop-up, Rutschman toward the Tampa Bay dugout, and Kevin Cash was trying to do his best to hold Adley Rutschman up in his big league debut. That's one catcher looking out for another.
Well, I saw Kevin. They were walking in, and of course Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, and he said, "Big night." I mean, when your pitching coach knows that Rutschman's in the big leagues from the opposite team. So right here, Kevin, a former catcher, going, okay, we're not going to lose you the first night.
Looking like a third base coach,
Yeah.
Kevin Cash.
There you go. Very gentlemanly of him.
Looking out for the good of the game.
Well, the old days, you could actually, at your own risk, go into the dugouts and catch balls. Can't do that anymore.
There's strike three, 97 to heat it up. Adley Rutschman due up third, his first big league at bat when we return.
Adley Rutschman, who's scheduled to bat third in this inning. We've heard all the hype, but this young man came into the press conference earlier today and he couldn't stop smiling. Had a chance to interview his mom at O's Extra pregame show. She couldn't contain herself. The excitement is real. This was a real family sacrifice, his family type of situation for him to get here in the first place. The hype is real. Now, Jim, you know about this, anticipated rookie yourself. What type of pressure is Adley Rutschman facing as he looks upon his first big league bat this inning?
Yeah, well, you know, he was in spring training. I think he's pretty comfortable. Everything I've read, he just he just becomes Adley Rutschman. I mean, you know, everybody talks about, okay, can the guy hit? Can he run? Can he throw? But the other thing is, what kind of character does he have? And, you know, he gets straight A's on that. So I think he's just going to have a good time. He's in the big leagues. I will say this, Rob, what I did see is there's, you know, when you're down at AAA Norfolk, even though he didn't play last night, and you have to pack your stuff and get here, and then you got to prepare for the game and all that, a lot of stuff happened very quickly. But then again, I mean, this is what he dreamt about.
Ball on a strike here to Trey Mancini. It is Mancini, Mountcastle, Rutschman in the Orioles second inning. The red hot Trey Mancini, second best average in the American League this month, on base in 14 consecutive games with a couple of hits yesterday. And Trey is late on that fastball, which Springs has been pounding to the outside corner to the righties.
Yeah, I mean, his average fastball is about 91.6, but again, as we told you, he gets to start against Toronto. Fleming goes to AAA, and he's building himself up to where they hope he'll be able to pitch 5-6 innings, and then that's all they need. Because they, maybe not last night when they used 9 pitchers, but they have an excellent bullpen.
There is that Rays bullpen, part of the pitching staff ranking 4th in the American League with a 3.42 ERA. Some tough arms in the O's path these last couple of games. Yankees, Rays will go to New York after this series. So Adley Rutschman certainly coming into the American League East, the teeth of it. Our New Balance Fearless approach in the month of May. Only J.D. Martinez has a higher batting average than Trey Mancini, among the OPS and hits leaders in the American League in the month as well. And he's been doing it, Trey, a little bit banged up. Crashed into the wall right at the end of April against the Boston Red Sox. And Kyle Bradish's debut on April the 29th. Missed a few days with bruised ribs. And since returning, Mancini has been one of the best hitters in the league, and he said it still hurts a little bit when he sneezes or coughs, but on the field he has not felt the ribs too much. 7th pitch here, he grounds one into the hole, and somehow Wall's got a glove to it, but he has no chance. And you know what that means? Another infield single for the Orioles infield hit leader, Mr. Speedster Trey Mancini, his 9th infield hit.
Well, you talked about the rib injury. He also can cover the plate a little bit more because he's not over swinging. There's a little changeup. It gets him out on his front foot, so you get what you want. You can see him trying to stay back. Hits it hard enough, and then Wall's known for his glove, able to catch it, but no play. So now you got what I would call for the first time this year, you got their A lineup in. Brandon Hyde gets to pencil in Mountcastle, even though he's been out for a while with the thumb injury, or really into the wrist.
And Mountcastle hammers one to left, but Arozarena is there for the first out. And for the first time in the major leagues, here comes Adley.
Batting for your Baltimore Orioles, making his major league debut, number 35, Adley Rutschman.
And away we go. We saw what appeared to be a wry smile on the face of Mike Elias a few moments ago. And for Mike Elias, who took over as general manager after the 2018 season, this is the first player he and his front office drafted to make it to the big leagues in an Orioles uniform. He was the first player he drafted, period. June 3rd, 2019. Nearly 1,100 days ago. Rutschman chases a changeup and falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, not only a changeup, but that is one of the calling cards of Jeffrey Springs. It's not your normal changeup you see coming through the minor leagues because it had great location, great finish. And what it does, it sets up the fastball wherever they really want to throw it because of the count, 0-2.
Somehow got a piece of another good changeup, stays alive.
Well, this is kind of his MO. I mean, that's another one, but made a little bit of an adjustment. It was not a hittable pitch, so what did he do? Fouled it off. Nothing more annoying when you're pitching and you make a pitch you think is going to get a hitter out, and he fouls it or flicks it away. Because you never know what's going to happen after that.
Another good changeup, and Jeffrey Springs rudely greets Adley Rutschman to the big leagues. But this Oriole crowd is just happy to see him here.
Well, everybody is, and you know, again, I mean, this is why Springs is pitching well for him. 3 in a row. If you're going to throw 3 in a row, if the third one's as good or better than the other ones, you get this result. So he got pitched to.
Third strikeout for Springs, and that will bring up Tyler Nevin. So Mullins, Hayes, and Rutschman have gone down, and now Nevin, who has been one of the Orioles' hottest hitters, 7 for 16 over the last 4 games for him. That's on the heels of a 7 for 44 start to the season.
Yeah, I asked him today. I said slow start, and obviously a lot better. You can see that right there. 4-game hitting streak. He said let the ball travel, use the whole field, and he's done it under difficult circumstances in the sense that he's played all over. I mean, DH played first last night, third base, and he's done it well. Nice little take there. So I'll let him hit 3-0 here. If I'm Brandon Hyde, let him get a 3-0 fastball. May be the only time you kind of can guess, at least even if he doesn't throw it, you can guess fastball. And then I'm not sure I'd hit it to left field. I'd hit it straight away to right field and maybe get a home run.
Well, that outside corner to righties has been given a few times by Andy Fletcher tonight. Nevin with a home run and a double this year. 233, the on base up to 309. Trey at first after a leadoff single, and Nevin missed another changeup. Springs has lived in that area of the plate. 4 2/3 innings, a season high for Springs on Sunday. stretched out over his last 4 outings from 2 2/3 up to 3+ to 4 to 4 2/3. Out of the Rays bullpen into their rotation. And Nevin will take a changeup away. Ball 4. The Orioles have 2 on in the second for last night's hero, Rougned Odor.
Well, lefties hitting them over 300, 302 to be exact, career-wise. Righties, because of the changeup, 234. So this is kind of reverse splits. I mean, it'd be nice to have a can't walk off in the second inning, but just get a base hit. Did it on Thursday. Started the rally. And you could see the power last night because that ball got out of here in a hurry. Either that or it's just the fact that it happened to be the 13th inning and it seemed that way.
Time had both slowed down and sped up eternally by that point in the Orioles' longest game since the advent of the automatic runner in extra innings. Longest game since 2019, and Odor won it. Got a mistake pitch from Ralph Garza Jr. and absolutely torpedoed it over the right field wall. His 3rd career walk-off home run. And Odor hits this one high, deep down the line in right field, but foul. Well, that home run we were talking about is our Xfinity Mobile powerful connection. Join the millions already saving by adding Xfinity Mobile to their internet.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was 90 miles per hour. You know, Garza not a hard thrower, so if it was a changeup, fastball, either way, is the middle of the plate. And here we go, 2nd consecutive walk-off home run, 2nd consecutive. One in the daytime, one at nighttime. Gatorade.
We got a pickoff play here, but time had been called, it appeared, by Andy Fletcher. The umpires are all signaling for time, so this is going to be a dead ball and a nullified play. Odor's just standing outside of the batter's box, and apparently the ball was not yet back in play, as you saw Andy Fletcher throw his hands up immediately.
Well, lesson to be learned. You can see Anthony Sanders saying thank you, first base coach. Why not get away with it? Got to credit Joy. He kind of snuck in there and just. I don't think that's a play they work off on in spring training, but pretty heads-up play.
So now we're back at it, and Odor hits a pitch that nearly hits him. 0-2. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Tampa Bay here in the second. Odor at 210, 250 on base, couple of home runs in 35 games, and RBIs off the bench the last 2 nights. A home run yesterday, and as you mentioned, the go-ahead single in the 6th inning on Thursday. Not a lot of hits, but he has had some really big hits late in games for Baltimore this year. And Odor will sky one into center off the end of the bat. Walls and Brujan going out, and the shortstop Taylor Walls out there in the shift makes the catch. A strikeout for Rutschman in his first at bat, and a Tampa Bay lead. Telecast celebrating Armed Forces Day is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Learn how we're celebrating Military Appreciation Month at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Our members are the mission. Armed Forces Day, created in 1949, honoring our fellow Americans serving the 5 U.S. military branches, the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard. We thank all past, all present members of the United States Armed Forces for their work, their dedication, and their service in protecting our country. Our honor to welcome some midshipmen from nearby Annapolis today, sitting out there in the right center field bleachers. Always fun to have this day and to see the sea of white out there in right center field, and hopefully they'll get a home run ball ticketed their way at some point tonight. 2-0 lead for Tampa Bay as Kyle Bradish gives up a line drive to Taylor Walls, and Austin Hayes will track it down in left center field. Well, fans, he's here. 2022's consensus #1 overall prospect, Adley Rutschman. His major league debut today. His second major league game expected to be tomorrow. Grab your tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets for the 1:35 start time. The Orioles and the Rays. Could well be a DH day for Adley tomorrow. We'll see what the lineup is. Not likely that he would come up and catch a day game after a night game. But Brandon Hyde did say today he wants to play Adley at catcher a lot, and he also wants to DH him. Not likely to play him much at first base because he has a few other options there.
Like Mancini and Mountcastle. Actually, I was looking at Oregon State. He actually played the outfield once. Of course, you know, he's known, but he kicked a 63-yard field goal. Wind dated, but in high school.
Kevin Kiermaier through the left side, and a base hit for Tampa Bay's leadoff hitter.
You know, we don't see him that much, but I was asking Brian Anderson and Dwayne Statz, who did the TV. I said, got 3 hits to left field. I said, why doesn't he do that more often? And they kind of shook their head, and they said, you know, he's been hot lately because he's been trying to hit the ball in the air. His 4 home runs have all happened in the last, 22 games or something like that. But he's got great speed, 3 out of 3 stolen bases, Gold Glove winner in center. You would think his job is to get on base for these guys, and he's done a great job in this series.
1 for 2 today for Kiermaier. 4 for 8 in the series as Rutschman blocks that breaking ball. Ball 1 to Diaz. First time we really get to see Adley Rutschman show off his blocking skills with a runner on base, and he comes from a great catching lineage. His father Randy, a terrific catching coach. Dad is here tonight.
A retired teacher, and then his grandfather Ad, well, I guess he's in the Football and Baseball Hall of Fame and NAIA. There's his dad Randy.
It's into right field by Diaz and foul. Yeah, it's quite the sporting family. You mentioned Ad, his grandfather, only head coach in college history, Ad Rutschman, to win a national championship in football and baseball. Did so at NAIA Linfield College. There's Randy, sister Josie, Carol. Carol's already got an Oriole crab hat, which is awesome. Josie rocking the O's t-shirt. They're all in the Portland, Oregon area. Adley from Sherwood, Oregon, suburb of Portland. And look, not a lot of #1 draft picks have been catchers over the years. The last one who was, of course, Joe Mauer in 2001. But Randy, a terrific catching coach. Pat Bailey, who was the Oregon State coach a couple of years ago, and Adley was there, said he was one of the best catching coaches in the entire country. And that's why when we talk to scouts and to folks in front offices, when Adley Rutschman was drafted, they said, you know, the bat can improve, but he could play defensively in the majors the moment he signed for the Orioles.
And he had the pandemic in 2020, so kind of a wasted year other than what they did down at AA Bowie. And then last year moved up through the ranks. It should be 2.
And it is. Another double play turned by the Orioles. Nobody better in baseball than them.
Hit on down here. The line is not too long right now, but as it gets hotter, it probably will. Enjoy yours, guys. Oriole Park at Camden Yards this year, located near Section 1, just near the warehouse. They have Italian ice, frozen custard. You can make a gelati. It is delicious. Hit on down here. The line is not too long right now, but as it gets hotter, it probably will. Enjoy yours, guys.
Yeah, we are, Rob. This is not always a hard job. Let me say that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yours.
There are worse ways to make
you
a
mango?
living.
You're mango. It looks like root beer, but it is delicious.
I think this is orange cream. My wife told me to get mango, and I betrayed her trust because I love orange cream so much.
We want to thank Rita for this. Adley Rutschman for this.
Lovely Rita.
Mike Elias, who drafted him. I think this is on Adley and Rita.
You think Adley, when he came up here today, he said, my first order of business is let me send some Ritas up into the booth.
Well, he has about 1.1 million reasons to do that. It's good.
Yeah, I was really hoping Jorge Mateo didn't hit a home run there. That would have been a terrible call if he did. There is Adley Rutschman, big league debut. There is some ice cream. And we'll put the Ritas aside for a second. We'll just have some more of that during the break. O's are down 2-0 as Mateo socks one on the ground up the middle, and it sneaks through to Brujan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin Cash was talking about this kid, because of injuries, usually it would be Brandon Lau, and he hit 39 home runs, but he can also pick it. But Brujan comes in. I mean, this is a tough play. Short hop, you better hurry because Mateo can really run. So the first thing you got to do, catch it. Then the next thing you got to do is miss second base. Almost step right on it, and Jorge's thinking base hit. Bang, bang. Nothing like good defense when you're pitching.
One out for Mullins, who socks one in the air to center. And the right fielder Phillips will call off Kiermaier for a quick second out. 3 pitches, 2 down. Tomorrow, the Oriole Advocates will host their Cardboard to Leather equipment collection presented by Pepsi Stronger Together during the 1:35 game against the Rays. Fans are encouraged to bring new and gently used baseball and softball equipment to Oriole Park to benefit youth in need in our community. Since Cardboard to Leather's inception, more than 80 tons of equipment have been donated to kids here and all around the world. More information, visit Orioles.com/community. And if you've got some old gloves or balls or bats or something lying around the house, bring it tomorrow. If you're planning on coming out, it will certainly find a good home. This is going to be a foul ball that nearly hit Kevin Cash.
Boy, he's trying to save his catcher. He's going to do it for Adley Rutschman. Why not for Mejia? Got enough guys on the IL right here. Now he's and then he does. There you go. I don't know who told him. Maybe his bench coach, Matt Cordero, said,
I don't know if
Kevin,
anybody told him.
You better. That's what happens when you catch too long. Oh, glad he didn't get hit.
The last line of defense tonight for both sides. So 0-1 for Austin Hayes. Struck out swinging against Jeffrey Springs in the first, and chases a changeup here. And for the second straight night, we saw Ryan Yarbrough yesterday. It's a left-hander with a very difficult arm angle to pick up for the Orioles.
Well, yeah, he's a lot taller than Jeffrey Smith, so he, or Jeffrey Springs, so he's all over the place and cutting it and turning it over. But this guy can pitch down in the zone with his changeup and go up in the zone with a 4-seam fastball. And there's the hook for the changeup, and it bottom drops out. Perfect location, perfect spot. Really dealing.
And for the sacrifices for those that are still active are continuing to make for us. So thank you.
Message from Austin Hayes, who met with some folks from Fort Meade before the game yesterday. Midshipman out in right center field as part of our Armed Forces weekend, with the Rays on top of the Orioles 2-0 through 3. Got to make sure the cat's out straight. Enjoying some Cracker Jacks at a baseball game. As Kyle Rada starts the 4th inning with ball 1. Gave up a 2-run home run to Randy Arozarena in the first. It's Choi who walked, and then Arozarena who homered here. Since that point, though, Bradish has been almost perfect. Just a base hit allowed, and that was erased on a double play as he dots the corner with a changeup.
First one of the night, and he throws it for a strike. I mean, I thought in watching his first 4 starts, he's had a good changeup. Again, he hasn't thrown a lot, hasn't been hit a lot. The batting average was like, what, 3 for 6. But all in all, it's going to be a pitch that down the road's really going to help him.
Been about 70% fastball tonight for Bradish. Only a couple of curveballs and changeups. And that fastball is high there to Choi.
Yeah, and part of coming to the big leagues, not only for Adley Rutschman, but especially for Kyle, is to know the hitters. And if you know Choi, you have to throw him strikes. little bit like DJ Stewart. You know, DJ Stewart, you know, would struggle. He'd go through hot spots, and then all of a sudden, you know, the on base percentage would always be good because he works the count. Well, Choi's one of those type of hitters.
Three and two for Choi, who leads the American League in pitches per plate appearance and is adding to that here after a 7-pitch walk in the first.
And just think about it. He works the count to 3 and 2, so he gets to see 5 or 6 pitches. What the spin rate is, what the break on the breaking ball. Right there, good fastball inside part of the plate. Lines it foul, kind of defensive hack. That's the 7th pitch he has seen now. So if you make your pitches, doesn't matter. But if you don't, it's a little bit easier to hit.
Choi is frozen for strike 3, framed at the knees and on the outside corner by Rutschman as Bradish picks up strikeout number 4.
Yeah, I don't think Andy Fletcher, who hadn't called a lot of low pitches, had any choice here. Check it out. Does the glove come up a little bit? Yep, a little bit. Right down the middle. You don't get that pitch. Pitching is going to really be difficult. There you go.
So 4 strikeouts, just the 1 walk for Bradish. Season now 26 strikeouts, 7 walks, and 24 2/3 innings.
Really the only one bad pitch. Hanging slider to Arena, who's at the plate.
Now 5 for 6 in the series, Arena, who often seems to pick up hits in the strangest ways against the Orioles. He'll hit infield singles, he'll bloop balls, but he'll also hit some long ones. 405 into the Oriole bullpen in the first. And another breaking ball here, hammered to left field. Hayes at the wall, and Arena conquers the wall. His second home run of the game. 429 this time as Arena climbs Mount Baltimore and left. An O's fan throws it back, but that ball left in the first place, and it's 3-zip.
Yeah, so for him, the wall, as Aaron Judge called it, is not a travesty. You know, Judge can hit him out of anywhere. This is what the 2020 postseason was all about. What does he get on this one? Little cutter, fastball in the middle of the plate, and then he just nails it.
Had 2 home runs coming into the night, Arena, and he has doubled that total here in his 39th game of the season.
Well, Margot is out with a hamstring problem. You know, Lau's got a stress fracture. 39 home runs last year. Somebody's got to pick up the slack. And of course, 100 wins last year, 40 out of 60 the year before, 96 the year before. They're used to winning. And they're used to playing. If one guy doesn't do it, somebody else picks it up. And then meanwhile, as they do year in and out, they pitch well. 8th best ERA in the American League at 3.42.
Mira started to swing at a slider. He did go. Bill Welke, the crew chief, says so. And it's 2-2 as Bradish was throwing a couple of sliders in the dirt, and he's gotten swings on. This one grounded to short. Mateo throws him out. Hey, Birdland, celebrate the 30th anniversary of Oriole Park with $10 Utah Street bleacher seats. Available for every home game Monday through Thursday all season long. Utah Street bleachers, a great view out in center field, right near Boog's Barbecue, the Roof Deck, Kids Corner, and even more. Buy your tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets. Or you can go back a couple of seconds and scan that QR code. There's some Ritas being enjoyed in the outfield. Just waiting for this inning to be over so we can dive back into our gelatis. Though I've been told via text that I erred by not getting the mango gelati. I have some folks telling me the mango gelati is the best flavor, which means I think tomorrow we'll just have to get the mango gelati.
It's going to be warm again.
Just keep sampling. I can tell you the orange cream is quite excellent.
But you thought that was mango. You went for the orange. You got close.
Whatever it is, it's great.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know what I mean, I have kind of a root beer. So it's like a root beer gelati float, which is quite tasty. I want to see you put it up by your forehead to cool off later. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Inning over. Let's eat some gelati. For Toyota, let's go places. On to the bottom of the fourth inning in Baltimore. Kevin Brown, Jim Palmer, Rob Long, and our entire Masson crew on the night of the Major League debut of Adley Rutschman. He has struck out in his only at bat. He is due up fourth here in the fourth. Part of the order: Santander, Mancini, and Mountcastle against Jeffrey Springs,
who's been outstanding. You know, fastballs when maybe you're looking for him, but he's a lot of reception, and then when he established the fastball, he throws a changeup with great movement, great location that you can't pick up so far. 42 pitches, 31. Great percentage of strikes.
Anthony grounded out to third base his first time in a season where he's really become a more well-rounded player. He's improved his numbers from the right-handed side, and he's seen a whole lot of pitches well. Sees that one low for ball one. Santander, who was really just a fastball power hitter a season ago. 14 of his 18 home runs came off fastballs, and this season just 2 of his 7 home runs have come off fastballs, working with Matt Borg-Schulte and Ryan Fuller, who love how competitive Santander is in the batting cage.
Wow.
So we're talking about, Jim, you look at the numbers, he's actually become worse on fastballs. That's the area that needs improvement right now. Actually his highest swing and miss rate, but against breaking balls and off speed pitches he had trouble with last year, he has excelled.
Yeah, you know, early on when Mancini did, you know, hit about 224, even though he was crushing the ball in April, they were pitching around Anthony. Almost as many walks as he'd had any season. But the ability, I mean, you know, he's a corner outfield on a competitive American League East team. You know, 4 of them won 91 or more games last year. So if you're going to play in this division, as we, you know, we see Rutschman coming up, and you know, you talk about Stowers, and you talk about, you know, you can just go down the list. Colton Cowser signed last year. Heston Kjerstad, you're trying to get him back on the field. You got to be able to hit 25 to 30 home runs and play defense, and Anthony can do that. And you can see them trying to make the adjustment. You talked about Matt and Ryan Fuller, you know, the 2 young hitting instructors are in their, you know, what, 31 year of age, so they're really young, but looks like the team already is, you know, they made a little bit of adjustment here in the 4th inning. We'll see if it can pay off with a couple of runs. They were down 3-0 last night and came back.
This is to the right side, a diving play by Brujan, and he throws out Santander.
What a play. We've seen him make 2 plays. And that's what Kevin Cash said. Listen, you know, if Lau, who's, you know, hits the home runs and plays good second base, if Brujan's got to play, we're going to want to see what he can do, and that's one of the things he can do. Now, offensively, still struggling, but defensively, saves an out. Instead of having a man on, nobody out, so Springs are going, yep, there we go, nice pitch. Great result. Really nice at bat by Santander.
108-mile-an-hour ground ball, and Mancini hooks one foul. One of those at-bats where you love everything Anthony did, fouling off a 2-strike pitch, taking a close changeup, hitting a hard ball the other way. You love everything he did, except he just happened to hit it right near a terrific fielder.
Yeah, and what we've seen already, you know, to Santander, he's using the breaking ball. It's been pretty much fastball, changeup, but a couple slider to Santander, There's the changeup, slider to Trey to get the foul ball. Or maybe pitching a little bit different second time through the order. Certainly a challenge when you go from the bullpen to being a starting pitcher.
Springs in his 6th career start. Strikes out Mancini for his 5th strikeout. Adley Rutschman on deck as Ryan Mountcastle will bat with 2 down.
Yeah, perfect pitch. Change up, looks like maybe a little circle change up on the corner. One of those pitches, if you said, you know what, Jeffrey, you get to go up to home plate and put it exactly where you want it. That was one of them. I mean, think about what you can do on a low and away fastball and a low and away changeup. You can only hit it one place, and that's to the opposite field. If it's down, it's harder to get in the air. How do you hit home runs? You get the ball in the air. So he's just living down and away. There's some pretty good right-handed hitters.
Ryan Mountcastle, a hard lineup to deep left field his first time. Missed the last 10 games after a left wrist forearm strain, activated from the injured list today. Ryan had targeted today for his return. It was the date he was eligible to return, and he said pretty much from the start that he felt like he would be back today.
Well, the Orioles have an excellent training staff, all kinds of modalities to help you get back on the field.
'53rd pitch from Springs, and Mountcastle with a good rip, 1-2.
Yeah, one of the few pitches they've been able to actually have a home run swing on. I mean, that's, and if you go back to Ryan's first home run down in Tampa opening weekend, it was a home run to the opposite field down at the Trop. Yeah, now that young man means business. And his dad just got done with one of Rita's gelatis.
Yeah, his dad's crushing some mango. 2-2 for Ryan.
Never been a mango person. I can just see you down in Canton going to the Safeway, and I want your ripest mangoes.
Who do you think I am?
I don't know. You're
someone who absconds grocers for ripe mangoes.
Well, you are Kevin Brown. Come on. Be on a firm first name basis before the summer's over.
In the air to right field at Phillips. And Adley Rutschman's second big league at bat will have to wait to the 5th. He'll strap on the catching gear again with the Rays on top.
LA, Maryland, big time Oriole baseball fan?
Yes, sir. Since I was very little. Love them.
Now, you threw out the first pitch today. How was that?
It was such a thrill, sir. I mean, getting to represent all the midshipmen here, the U.S. Navy as in general, and this Armed Forces Day, what a privilege it was.
Has anyone in your family ever thrown out the first pitch?
No, sir. So a lot of pressure. My family's up there in the upper deck. All of them came down from Bel Air, and what a thrill it was.
Did you throw a strike?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm waiting for Coach Hyde to call me up tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. You'll wait for that. And you're here. Adley Rutschman making his big league debut. Did you know that when you knew you were coming tonight?
When I woke up this morning, first thing I saw on my phone was that Adley was coming up. And, I mean, all the stars aligning tonight, sir. I mean, Adley coming up, first pitch, beautiful night, beautiful baseball. Orioles are hot. Let's keep it rolling.
What's in store for you when you are done with the academy?
I'm going to commission next week as an ensign in the U.S. Navy. And then I will go to training to be a nuclear submarine officer.
Nuclear submarine officer. What exactly do you do with that?
We go around on submarines. I first will operate the nuclear propulsion plant that'll drive the submarine, and we keep our seas safe.
Josh, did you play baseball as a kid?
No, but I umpired.
Umpired?
Yes, sir.
You went to Bel Air High School?
Yes, sir.
Jim Palmer is listening right now. You got a message for Jim Palmer?
Mr. Palmer, I loved hearing your stories growing up on Masson. Love hearing them. So unique. Yeah. What a privilege it is to be speaking with you right now.
Well, tell him he didn't have a choice.
He said you didn't have a choice because he's going to tell his stories. Now, give me your all-time favorite Oriole and then your current favorite Oriole. It may be the same answer.
Oh. All-time favorite's got to be Adam Jones. I mean, what he did for the community, everything he's done on and off the field was so wonderful. Current Oriole, Trey. I mean, his resilience is something else. to come back from that cancer bout. Such an inspiration.
Now, listen, you threw out the first pitch tonight. You're the big man on campus now because you're on Masson. Don't tell me you're going back to the academy tonight and just call it a night. What's in store for you tonight?
No, sir. Going back down with my family. They're all coming down to Annapolis to start commissioning week. It's going to be parties all week. Good celebration of 4 hard years of work.
Give me a go.
Go O's, baby.
There you go. Back to you, Jim and Kevin.
Nicely done.
That is awesome,
sir.
Rob. That's
we're
so
going to have
cool.
to call Rob sir now.
That's midshipman first class Josh Brewer brought the first pitch. By the way, we were showing the video as Rob was talking to Josh. It was a great first pitch. It was a dart right down the middle.
It's off par. Sign him.
He said he's ready for Brandon to call him in. Hey, the Orioles used a lot of relievers last night. Josh might be like the 3rd guy out of the bullpen this evening. You never know as Bradish gets ahead of Mejia 0-2. Kyle Bradish, a strikeout swinging of Brett Phillips to begin the 5th inning. 5 strikeouts now for Bradish, only the 1 walk. That's the good news. And he has only allowed 3 hits. The bad news, 2 of those hits, home runs for Randy Arozarena. 5th career multi-homer game for him. 3 of those against the O's.
Yeah, we're seeing the whole arsenal. Change-ups, curveballs, he's got them. There are the numbers. So a lot of strikes tonight, 2-1. You like that ratio. And you know, the walk to Choi, he earned it, and then 1 hanging slider and 1 fastball in the middle of the plate to a guy that makes his living hitting those pitches. And that's Arozarena. Well, there's blocking the ball just in case he would have waved at it. Soft hand, soft body.
A little flare out to right. Odor going back. Santander coming in. Hey, O's families, Sunday home games are for the kids with Kids Run the Bases presented by Wise Markets. Fans ages 4 to 14 are invited to take the field after the game and run the bases like the pros. Buy your tickets at Orioles.com/kids. Those kids will be able to run the bases after tomorrow's game. 1:35, the O's and the Rays to close out the 7-game homestand. Kyle Bradish and Adley Rutschman working in the big leagues together for the first time as Bradish throws strike 1 to Taylor Walls, and Rutschman has certainly looked the part behind the plate, comfortably receiving pitches, blocking pitches. In his major league debut. To get Rutschman here, the Orioles had to make a move. They designated Anthony Bemboom for assignment, and though Bemboom only hit 115, Brandon Hyde was effusive in his praise of Anthony last night, this morning, talking about Bemboom and Chirinos and the job they've done behind the plate and working with this pitching staff. Said, I could not be happier with the way they handled an inexperienced pitching staff, and the Orioles are very hopeful that Bemboom will clear waivers and remain in the organization because they love his job framing pitches, and they love his job, as well as Chirinos, working with a staff that just doesn't have a lot of big league time.
Yeah, even last night, I mean, he made the big tag play at home plate on Franco. Kind of changed it. He was called safe, and then they reversed it, challenged it.
Well, Adley Rutschman will get his 2nd crack at bat in the big leagues when we come back to Camden Yards. Take a second, look around, soak it all in, enjoy the moment. Adley Rutschman before going into a squat behind the plate for the first time. Mom and Dad are here. Carol and Randy, sister Josie. A standing ovation from the assembled faithful before Adley's first at bat. He struck out swinging against Jeffrey Springs, and Rutschman will get his 2nd crack at his first big league hit, or maybe his first time on base in the major leagues. Leading off the Oriole 5th. The number 1 pick, 2019, takes ball 1 from Springs.
Yeah, we talk about Choi not swinging at balls. I mean, his whole hitting persona is that he makes you throw the ball over the plate, and then of course as a switch hitter then you can get into some trouble, but he doesn't usually chase. He's not coming to college or in the minor leagues. And the Orioles, you know, if you take a walk here, it's just like getting a base hit. On base percentage, as we mentioned in college, over 50% his last 2 years.
3 seasons in the minors, hit .282, the on base .391, slugged .488, 179 games, hit 38 doubles, 30 home runs. And Rutschman takes a 2-0 strike from Jeffrey Springs. You go back to Adley Rutschman's freshman year at Oregon State. He was just a .234 hitter with a .629 OPS. He really struggled in the Cape Cod League that fall, and then he exploded. Hit .408 as a sophomore at Oregon State. .505 on base, as you mentioned, Jim. And then the next year, the Golden Spikes Award winner, the best college player, hit .411, .575 on base, hit 17 home runs. And he was the Orioles man from day one. On a 3-1 pitch, Rutschman takes ball 4, and Adley Rutschman fittingly reaches base for the first time in the big leagues by not swinging at all. A leadoff walk for Rutschman, who trots down to first base for the first time as a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, you know, everybody talks, you know, about when you come to the big leagues, how'd you get here? You know, whether your dad, Randy, teaches, you know, to hit. And he talked about his catching ability, retired teacher. Part of the process of being a good hitter, do you swing at balls, or will you take down by 3 runs? Will you take the walk? So to me, that was a great at bat. Yeah, because the minute you get a guy on, it opens up holes. They're holding him at first. Brujan has made some nice plays. Second, now way up the middle, big hole into right field. We've seen Tyler Nevin be able to hit it there. They shade him. Kiermaier about 3 steps to right center.
You know, you hear a lot about first hits in the big leagues. The question for everybody when they get their first hit, what are you going to do with the baseball? Where does the baseball go? And you don't often hear about first walks because so often players come up and want to get the first hit out of the way and start swinging a little more wildly. But Adley Rutschman was very calm and controlled there. Took 5 pitches, 4 out of the zone. Works his way on, and then Nevin strikes out as Mejia hangs on to the foul tip.
Well, remember the ability, as if you looked at a pyramid, you get the broad base, and then at the top, which is exactly where he's gone. So he stayed down and away with a changeup, throws the 4-seamer. He looks good, but again, because he's got good backspin, good spin rate, it doesn't come down, and he swings right through it. Strikeout number, at least on my scorecard, 6.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, yours is the official. Kind of like being on the PGA. I would never ever. I'd have you turn in my scorecard, especially during the PGA Championship.
I would be thrilled to caddy for you, Jim. Yeah. Odor on the ground to the right side. Brujan to second. Rutschman out there, and Odor is out on the return throw. Blue Don's been great defensively. A 4-6-3 double play, erasing Adley Rutschman. The 4-seam fastball, a little bit more changeup than we're used to seeing from him as well.
Well, you talked about the relationships that Adley Rutschman had. Caught him early this year. So, then again, who you're facing. If you look, they had the Red Sox, Minnesota, St. Louis in St. Louis, and then the Yankees. So, no soft touches there. So you pitch everybody differently.
Well, the Orioles have had the hardest strength of schedule to begin this season. So Bradish and now Rutschman have certainly been thrown into the heart of the American League East, the belly of the beast, if you will, with the Rays today, the defending American League East champions, 23-16, 4.5 games back into today. The Yankees, who won again, beat the White Sox to get to 29-10. Kevin Kiermaier batting as Tampa Bay will go through the lineup for the 3rd time, and Bradish throws ball 1.
Yeah, the Yanks would, I think a 5-run 3rd inning, and to set the tone.
There's a slider strike. What do you thought of Bradish tonight?
Well, I'd want to have about a half a dozen of guys with this type of arm, because he's going to figure out how to pitch. And the other thing, probably more maybe important if you live in Arizona, his wife's is a great interior designer. So he can do the work here, and she can. You're gonna love Arizona. You know, it's you, Kevin.
I do love Arizona.
Yeah, I know.
It's ground ball basic for Kiermaier. Maybe Kevin Kiermaier loves Arizona. He certainly loves Baltimore.
He loves Oriole pitching. That's his 5th hit.
Hey, Birdland, you can experience an O's game this year with the convenience and privacy of your very own suite. A variety of affordable single-game suites are available throughout the ballpark. Exclusive access to the game with climate-controlled interior seating, private restroom, and comfortable outside seating. Visit Orioles.com/suites for more information. There you have it, right under the number 4.
The Weaver Suite.
The Weaver Suite.
Brooks Robinson Suite. Talk to Brooksy. Brooksy turned 85, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, Monday. Oh, wow.
Diaz into right field, and Kiermaier will go first to third. First base hit of the night for Yandy Diaz, and the Rays have 2 runners on.
Well, they let Arozarena hit the home runs. I mean, inside out swing, let it travel, doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Looks like he's a pretty good third baseman. Watch him just stay inside, slices it to right field. Almost looks like it's going to be a double, but Santander getting over there very quickly, and Kiermaier, no doubt, going to go to third. Michael Baumann called up today for tonight's game.
So here's Choi, the number 3 hitter. And a ground ball foul to first.
Well, you really need, if you can get ahead, you need a strikeout. Pop up, strikeout. You know, I mean, you take a double play ball, but you're already down by 3. I mean, it is so difficult when, you know, you're pitching okay. He's made 2 mistakes noticeable in both of the home runs, making slider, fastball in the middle of the plate. But you feel like you're down by a 6 or 7, and they all they want to do is add runs.
Well, yesterday the Orioles came back from 3-0 down going into the 7th. We're down 2 in the 10th, 1 in the 11th. Trailed 3 times, came back to win. They trailed the Yankees 2-0 and then 5-3 on Thursday. Trailed in that game twice and came back to win. Trying to hold it at 3 right here. And Choi did not have time granted by Andy Fletcher, it appeared, but Bradish's pitch was high, 2-1.
Yeah, I look at a number. I mean, you know, we see it. Most teams play really well, but when the Rays get 4 or more runs, they're 17-2. That tells you about their pitching, 5th in the league, and they got a guy on 3rd and 1st with nobody out, so they want to reach that milestone.
Choi superb with runners in scoring position this season. And he'll take ball 3. Ji-Man Choi has walked, struck out tonight. Rutschman's target is low. And Bradish's pitch is hit into center, deep enough to get in Kiermaier. Mullins retreats. Diaz will tag from first. He'll test Mullins, and Diaz is into second. Sacrifice fly for Choi. Kiermaier scores Diaz to second, and Tampa Bay gets that 4th run.
Yeah, and Choi, you know, gets to make an out. Diaz, not a lot of speed, but that's just kind of running on a deep ball. Cedric Mullins can do everything on a baseball field to help you win, and the only really detriment is he doesn't have a strong arm. So good scouting. They know where the ball is, plays in front of you. You can see the throw coming in from center field, a little bit off. Going to make it anyway. So not only do you get that 4th run, you get another runner in scoring position.
And here's tonight's major masher. Two home runs for Randy Arozarena this evening. One off a slider into the bullpen. One off a fastball over the left field wall. That one gets away, and Rutschman keeps it close enough. Gets a hand from the crowd for that as Diaz holds at second.
Well, 12-6 curveball. And it will bounce. Picks it up softly, but you see him lean the upper body. Kicks away, but Diaz says, I already did my 90-foot sprint. Yeah, so something other than the slider and the home run. Fastball. Yeah, you know, when you get in these situations, Kevin, it's tough because you're already down 4-0. This guy's hit 2 home runs. If you pitch around him, you're probably coming out of the game, but you don't want to throw him some in the middle of the plate because you've already learned your lesson that he can hit that. And there's another changeup. Really good pitch. So in your mind's eye, just think about that. That will be him down the road where he'll have more capabilities. And as you mentioned earlier, only his 5th major league start.
Two one.
Yeah, I think one thing we've noticed that, you know, the league adjusts a little bit second time through the order, but he doesn't lose a lot of velocity. Still throwing in 95.
Fastball today is average right around 95. Bradish, a little bit more than his year-to-date average. And a fastball here. Rosarena was late on it. 3-2.
We hadn't thrown a lot of sliders. You know, got hurt after the walk in the first. The pitch of choice right here is throw him a good slider. He'll wave. You get the second out, but you have to make the decision with your young catcher, Adley Rutschman. Do you think you can throw it over?
On 3-2. Rosarena does not go for it. Rutschman will chase it down, and he won't throw to third as Diaz takes it. So a walk and a wild pitch simultaneously. And with runners at the corners, 1 out, that will be that for Kyle Bradish tonight.
Yeah, there was a slider, and he bounces it. You know, it's the right pitch, trying to keep it down. The hanger went out of the ballpark. And that'll create a 1st and 3rd situation.
So 5 1/3 for Bradish. Mike Bauman, just up from AAA Norfolk, will replace him.
Night here. Good fastball. He gets Kiermaier, strikes out the first 2 hitters. I mean, Diaz is about as good a slider, and then gets one up after the walk to Choi. 2-0 Rays. You can see the hanging the head a little bit. There's the good heater, up and away, outside corner. And then this is what Rosarena does. Fastball this time in the middle of the plate, makes it 3-0. Phillips, who strikes out a lot. And that will give you the that is the line. 5 1/3 innings. He does get him into the 6th inning. And then our Jiffy Lube pitching change. Jiffy Lube multi-care stores do brake services. Stop in for a free brake inspection, oil change, and more. That's a job for Jiffy. Michael Bauman
gets a ground ball to third, and the play is made at first by Nevin. He thought about going home, but may not have had a clean grip, may not have thought he could get Diaz either way, and Harold Ramirez scores Diaz to make it 5-0 Tampa Bay, although Diaz is still down on his knees, and he's going to use the bat to prop himself up as the Rays come to check on him.
Yeah, really tough angle. You can see Rutschman just in case ready for the throw. So Yandy, base hit down the right field line, tags up on a sacrifice fly. Hot night.
Like Sandoval, the Rays trainer.
Little head first. Oh, he lands right on the bat.
This has not been the best sliding showcase for the Rays this series. Rosarena, who started about halfway to second yesterday.
Yeah, that was a crash landing.
So Rosarena took second on this play. Diaz scored. And Baumann with ball 2 to Vidal Brujan. Mike Baumann this season with the Orioles. Now 7 2/3, 7 hits, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. Had a terrific season debut. Pitching against Milwaukee in the home opener in back of Bruce Zimmerman. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 3. Control was a little bit up and down since then. The Orioles sent him down following the game on April the 28th. Wanted him to work on his command in Norfolk. He's pretty good with the Tides. 9 2/3, 4 earned runs. Logan Gillespie, Nick Vespi sent back to Norfolk today. Baumann called up. Ryan Mountcastle was activated as Baumann darts in strike 2.
You know, all 4 appearances as they try to get the pitch count up. Because he was a starting pitcher, so he's got starter stuff, but work on the command. Fastball this year, as the average is, at least velocity has gone up a couple of ticks. But as you mentioned, control problems in New York, and go down and work on it. And he's back.
And a strike there. Brandon Hyde said now it's all about throwing strikes for Mike. Threw a butte to Brujan to get out of the 6th. Military Appreciation Month at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal, our members are the mission. We are tonight's game on Masson in celebration of Armed Forces Day. We'd like to thank all past and current members of the United States Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard for their work and dedication in protecting our country. Kevin Brown, Jim Palmer, Rob Long, and our entire outstanding Masson crew. Orioles looking for some offense here in the 6th. Just 1 hit, 2 walks. Jeffrey Springs threw a career high 3 1/3 innings on May the 3rd. He then threw a career high 4 innings on May the 9th. He then threw a career high 4 2/3 innings on May the 15th. And he's now thrown a career high 5 innings tonight. He has a new third baseman. Isaac Paredes replaced Diaz, who slid awkwardly into home plate and left the game in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Paredes coming over from the Tigers, hit a couple of home runs. Played second base last night, at least initially, but his true position is third base, so he comes in and certainly should be accustomed to playing third with a lefty on the mound.
1 and 2 for Jorge Mateo against Jeffrey Springs.
Yeah, they always say, we're out of the bullpen, we'll stretch him out. So they've done exactly what you talked about, and then he gets the ball and he's pitched magnificently.
Just his 6th major league start. 29-year-old from Appalachian State. And Mateo takes ball 2.
Yeah, Mancini's hit in the between third and short, 5.5 hole that Walls was able to catch but couldn't make the throw. That's the only hit.
Orioles have 2 walks, 1 from Nevin in the 2nd and 1 from Adley Rutschman in his big league debut in the 5th.
Well, you'd love to get Jorge on because of the speed factor. I don't know if they'll be stealing bases, but he certainly can go from first to third or first to home. You just got to, when you get into a 6th inning like this and the guy's pitched that well, you just want to get him out of the game. And pitch count may do it, except he hasn't cooperated. Tons of strikes tonight.
And a Rutschman chatting to Chris Holt, watching on as Mateo goes down swinging, and Springs extends his career high in innings and in strikeouts. That's number 7 of the ladder.
Well, perfect changeup. I keep saying it, but because they are. You're looking to can you see, or can you discern the difference between the fastball and the changeup? Is the arm a little slower? Can you pick up the spin? And obviously the answer is no, you can't.
Third time through the order, we'll see if the Orioles can adjust with Mullins.
So the velocity maybe a touchdown as he moves deeper in the game.
Strikeout swinging at the first, fly out to right field in the third for Mullins. Felt like last night was the best he'd ever hit against Ryan Yarbrough, another left-hander with some odd arm angles. Said it took him a pitch the first time through. He said, I'm going to have the approach. I'm going to not swing at a pitch that looks like a strike right away. It's going to dip out. I know that. And then he swung and missed one. Had to reset himself. Flipped the ball into left field for a hit. Then in the fifth inning, drilled a ball to right. Felt like it was the best he'd seen Yarbrough, and now hoping the third time he sees Springs will result in a good at-bat here against Tampa Bay starter.
Well, 5-0 lead, the last thing, and we talk about it all the time. He's certainly going to get a good pitch to hit because of the scoreboard if he can throw it over. Wow.
Mullins will take it. He's walking slowly enough. It's almost like he didn't believe it was ball four. Fans, on this Armed Forces Day, baseball salutes all active duty veterans and their families for your service to our country. Go to MLBcommunity.org to learn more about how you can help to serve those who serve us. And there they are, some of them, the midshipmen over from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, out in right center field. A sea of white amidst the orange. Kyle Snyder, the Tampa Bay pitching coach, is out for the first time tonight. And Tampa Bay has begun action in its bullpen. Jason Adam, who threw as one of 8 Rays relievers yesterday, threw a scoreless 8th inning. Every available Rays reliever in the game through, everyone except for Andrew Kittredge, who's dealing with a bit of a back issue, but he is not on the injured list, nor is Wander Franco, who's also playing hurt. So the Rays a little short-handed tonight, or at least according to Kevin Cash, and we'll see if Kittredge finds his way into the game if he's feeling better today.
Well, you just kind of hope you get the starter out of there, and then, you know, when you, of course, it did go extra innings, but 9 pitchers. We saw Matt Whistler, who really has been outstanding. He just was a little bit off, so you just hope that one of those guys has a bad night. And even there gets away with a hanging changeup.
Bruhan with the vocal call and catch. 0 for 3 night for Hayes.
You can just tell by the facial expression. Hittable pitch, he popped it up. But that's what changing speeds does. I mean, totally unpredictable tonight. You know, you look for the fastball, he throws you a changeup. You look for the changeup, he throws you a fastball. The quality of the pitches as far as ball on plate has been amazing.
16 swings and misses and 76 pitches.
And that's what a changeup does. That and something, you know, you can foresee with it. So soft with the changeup and firm with the fastball.
His whiff rate on the changeup tonight. The Orioles have swung at 17. They've only hit 7. That's a 59% swing and miss rate, but also 42% swing and miss rate on the fastball, plus 1 whiff on the slider. And Austin Hayes and Ryan Fuller dissecting that last at bat against Jeffrey Springs. Santander has grounded out twice, 1 to third, 1 to second. Takes the ball here.
Yeah, Francisco Mejia versus Benino with a big 3-run home run. He does catching against the lefties. He does drag it very quickly back into the strike zone. I don't know how many pitches you're going to reverse the call, but that's what he does so well is offensively, runners in scoring position.
Hitter's count. Not a hitter's pitch.
Yeah, you know, fatigue factor coming into play here in the 6th on a hot night. He called it. And 79 pitches on tonight is probably like 90 on a cool night.
Career high for Springs, and Mancini and Mountcastle coming up. Adam ready. Next pitch could very well be his last. Career high innings, strikeouts, pitches for Springs this evening. And he will walk Santander, second walk of the inning. And Kevin Cash, not going to take long, raises the left hand, but it will be for the right-hander Jason Adam after 5 2/3 at the moment shutout innings for Springs. So Tampa Bay to the bullpen for the first time. The O's trying to get back in it with Mancini coming up.
That was the Mancini infield hit of sorts. Walls flagged down in the hole. And again, the walks, 2 of them here in the 6th inning. So 80 pitches, 50 strikes, kind of where you want. Jason Adam came in. You know, he's been on a roll. I mean, we talked about how good their bullpen has been. And so what, 14 of his 16 appearances have been scored, 13 have been hitless. Retired the last 12 batters he faced. Came in and pitched the scoreless 8th inning. And then, of course, what is his signature pitch? It's a slider. Whiff rate almost 60% on that pitch.
Well, the Orioles have come back for walk-off wins the last 2 days. Most games rallying from a deficit this season, not necessarily to win, but to come back and tie or take the lead. The Orioles in 18 of their first 40 games have trailed at some point in the game and come back either to tie or take the lead, including Thursday, including Friday, trying to dig out on Saturday. Mancini with the only Orioles hit tonight, a ground ball into the shortstop third base hole, and Trey takes a called strike 1. 4 walks, but just the 1 hit for Baltimore against Springs. On base now for a 15th consecutive game, Trey Mancini. And he will hammer this one to left field, but it hangs up for a Rose Arena. 2 pitches for the final out of the 6 for Jason Adam. Shutout intact through 6 for the Rays.
Hey Adley, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Baltimore. Woo!
Yes, the first of what we hope will be many, many nights with Adley Rutschman behind the plate or in the lineup here at Camden Yards. He has struck out and walked at the plate. He's caught the first 6 innings behind it. But he's attempted a stolen base on Adley Rutschman yet. They might not for some time, given his reputation. Tampa Bay, though, has the lead 5-0. But a whole lot of Rutschman fans are just happy to see him up here for the first time, wearing number 35, same as Brett Phillips, who swings through strike 1 against Mike Baumann.
Yeah, the amazing number for Brett. I mean, other than he made a throw at 99 miles per hour from right field last night. Been up 78 times and struck out 35 times with this. Now, we saw it last year. He hit 5 home runs against the Orioles, one of them a grand slam. Came back from a 6-3 deficit for that one. 6 defensive runs saved. So, and usually platoons against right-handed pitching. Can steal bases.
Good pitch, sort of.
Yeah, not well, but well, did they add 25 guys that have pitched for the Rays this year?
Yeah, he's one of the 25. He's pitched twice, 3 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs, 3 home runs. And he's loved every second of it as Phillips takes.
Yeah, but if you're
2.
a catcher and they keep track of what your earned run average is when the team is catching. Oh, Rita.
I think that's a Mango on the right.
Yes.
Yeah, just taunt me, camera crew. Why don't you? Just tantalizes. Yeah. Happening tomorrow. So you're saying you think catcher's ERA, you have to throw out the Brett Phillips appearance?
8 runs and 2 appearances.
No question. Yeah. This is the best Rita's night of the year. 87 at first pitch.
Yeah, well, I thought he was going to be 90 in the 90s tomorrow.
I don't have that, but here's a line drive and a right by Phillips, but we'll get on the temperature check for you. Brett Phillips 1 for 3. Hey fans, you can now catch Orioles baseball anytime and anywhere on the all-new MASN app. Watch games live and receive expert analysis and team coverage from Masson Insiders. Real-time action, scores, and player stats, all in the palm of your hand. Go to massonsports.com and download yours today.
Well, you talked about the ability to maybe send a runner if you're Kevin Cash. Phillips is that guy with 4 steals.
Well, by the way, low of 71, high of 93 tomorrow. So there you go.
And then it's going to, I think, cool off when the Orioles go to New York. I think it's going to be in the 70s, maybe. Boston, similar temperature at the end of the week. So you'll be in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You have something against Boston?
Nothing against Boston.
Okay.
I just won't be there. I'll be in some location to be determined.
You're doing softball?
I will be off to the softball super regionals. Yes, big softball weekend right now. Softball regionals. Very exciting stuff.
Wow.
That's fouled right back here by Mejia.
Otherwise, you might miss the regional right there if we don't get out of the way. I was heading for the Rays television. I think maybe a little bit low, but there's a happy youngster.
Looks like he's looking for somebody to give it to.
He's in the adult section.
And Mike Baumann, his first big league game since late April. Ground out, strikeout, single. First 3 batters he's faced. Phillips fakes a steal, and Baumann strikes out Mejia with a high fastball.
Yeah, 94 inside third of the plate, so you could add about 5 miles per hour when the ball gets to that, because you got to hit it out front, and he couldn't. Perfect pitch.
7 strikeouts, Oriole pitching tonight. Bradish with 5, Baumann with 2. Batter is Taylor Walls. Adley Rutschman has had quite a week. If you go by Major League Baseball and their ranking of the Orioles' top prospects, Baumann is the Orioles' 4th ranked pitching prospect, Bradish 3rd. DL Hall 2, Grayson Rodriguez 1, and Adley has caught all of them in the past week. Grayson and DL both with AAA Norfolk. Grayson Rodriguez pitching very well all year. DL Hall has just been called up, made a couple of starts there. And now Bradish and Baumann, first and second year big leaguers respectively. So familiarity with some of the young pitchers on this staff, and Orioles think Adley Rutschman will continue what's been a great year of catchers game calling behind the plate. Not the experience necessarily of Robinson Chirinos or Anthony Bemboom, but a very steady, calming, even-keeled presence. And Robinson Chirinos and Adley Rutschman just a little bit of time together in spring training, but Adley said he was able to pick his brain, learn from Chirinos, who has more than a dozen years in the big leagues, and those two look like they will form a very nice partnership working behind the plate.
Yeah, great mentor for a young catcher. Come on, Andy. You're right about Andy. Inconsistent. Do everything you can to coax the umpire to call it, and sometimes you just don't do it.
On the ground to second. Odor flips. Mateo throws. Double play. Second of the night. Turned by the O's.
Taylor made. And then all you got to do is make it.
On this Armed Forces night, men and women of the military enjoying a baseball game. Hoping for some Orioles runs when we come back to Camden Yards.
This is probably about the coolest thing, coolest moment that I've had so far, and I'm really excited for it.
Everything is better with you, better with you, better with you. Everything is better with you, better with you, better with you. Everything is better with you, better with you, better with you. Yeah, everything is better with you. Everything is better with you.
After 179 games in the minor leagues, it is Adley Rutschman's big league debut night. Kevin Brown, Jim Palmer back with you. 11,945 days, nearly 12,000 since the only other 1-1 in Orioles history. Ben McDonald debuted. For Adley, it's been the most exciting walk of the season. Strikeout in the walk, so a quiet night offensively for him and the rest of the Orioles, but great to see a major piece, maybe the major piece of the Orioles' future on the big league stage.
Oh yeah, and more are coming. And you know, I mean, it's not only him. I mean, you know, if you talked about it, it's going to be you know, Grayson Rodriguez at some point, whatever they want to bring him up. He's ready to pitch in the big leagues. Of course, Mike Elias will make that decision. D.L. Hall's got to get his innings in. So, you know, you're seeing the players coming. You know, I kind of like the nucleus is here. You got a last year kid at the plate right now, 33 home runs, former #1 draft choice for the O's.
Mountcastle socking one foul against the new pitcher Ralph Garza Jr.
Yeah, he gave up the home run, the walk off to Rougned Odor in the 13th inning. Fastball changeup pitcher, not a lot of innings, so they're comfortable. He's looking for outs here in the 7th with a 5-0 lead. But like I said, you know, when Eaton, who's been red hot, leaves, he gets a couple outs, which is what they were looking for. Now let's see what they can do against Garza.
A ground ball to shortstop. Taylor Walls on to first, and now for the first time in the big leagues, Adley Rutschman will bat as a left-handed hitter. As a right-hander tonight, a strikeout and a walk against Jeffrey Springs. Talking to Ryan Fuller, Orioles co-hitting coach, before the game, he said the right side of the plate more of a line drive approach, but the left-hand side, this is where you see the power.
Yeah, there's the changeup. I mean, the home run, I guess, would have been Thursday. Didn't play last night, but home runs in 2 consecutive games to the opposite field. It's a little bit harder to do here than because of the new wall, unless you're Arozarena, who hit one 427 feet earlier in the game.
This season, 3 home runs in 12 games with Norfolk, 30 home runs, 179 games in the minors. A 2-1. And Rutschman is above a changeup for strike 2 from Garza.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that at AAA. I mean, obviously, when a guy has the kind of numbers that you talked about, they pitch him with the respect. But this is the big leagues. You know, this is what the Garzas of the world, the Whistlers of the world, the Eatons, you know, the world do.
Rutschman slowed the bat down there, just got a piece.
They're totally unpredictable. You know, you think you're going to get a fastball, maybe at AA, AAA. Here it could be anything. Change up, pulls foul. So it's going to take a while. And what is hitting? Timing. And they're going to try to disrupt that timing. You would think the good news will be that he's going to make them, and we talked about it earlier, make them throw strikes, throw it over.
Got a good rip there on a Garza fastball. Still 2-2 for Adley Rutschman.
The Garza gave it a little pause, kind of like a double little leg kick.
The cell phones are out all over the park, hoping to document a moment.
Another changeup.
Mom and Dad and sister are loving it. Living and dying with every pitch, Carol and Randy and Josie.
Yeah, well, I can see that the first night, but it could become exhausting. He's got to get his hits.
Everyone here wants to say they were there for the first one. They were here for the first walk, here for the first game. Will they be there for the first hit? Rutschman into right field, down the line, a fair ball. Adley will turn first, head for second. He's going to turn second, go for third. Rutschman into third base, standing. An extra base hit, his first hit in the major leagues. Welcome to the show, kid. We will wait to see a scoring decision if it's a double and an error or a triple, but worth noting, Matt Wieters and Manny Machado's first major league hits were triples, and wouldn't it be something if another celebrated debut kicked off with a three-bagger?
Yeah, we can't see down in that corner. Now you know there's a changeup grip. He got about 4 of them. This time it's in the middle of the plate, and he just yanks it into the corner. And then, I don't know if, they could maybe give him an error. Not an easy play because of the wall.
It has scored a triple. Will that change? We'll see. Could certainly be a double E9 on review, but at the moment it has scored a triple, and at the moment that means that in maybe the last 3 most anticipated Oriole debuts, or maybe the last 3 most anticipated Oriole hitters to debut, not necessarily in first games. Wieters a triple in his second game, Machado a triple in his first game, and Rutschman, who was thinking 3 pretty quickly.
Yeah, didn't even look at the third base coach, Tony Manzolino, because he could see the play in front of him. So now with only 1 out, you don't have to get a base hit. Tyler Nevin can get ball in the air. Garza sliders and changeups. Only Choi on the right side of the infield.
One-two for Nevin. And Garza strikes him out, and Rutschman for the moment is anchored to third.
Nice pitch. Young hitter. We saw Rutschman get all kinds of change-ups, but against the righties, pitch of choice is that little slider, and it slides right away from the bat head.
And now a matchup that Ralph Garza Jr. may or may not want to relive, because yesterday Rougned Odor took him very deep for a home run to end the game in the 13th.
Yeah, you could not have thrown it any more, and I was happy he did it, down the middle than he did. And that ball was launched.
Odor trying to crack the shutout in the 7th. And he's got a 2-0 count in his favor. Well, you said last night he was hoping for a mistake, and about half a second later he got one as Brooks Raley begins to throw for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he pitched about I think 5 or 6 pitches last night. Yeah, there's a good change. I mean, he loves it against the lefties, and sometimes you can live and you can die with it. I mean, check out where this ball is. Again, it was 90, so it's probably a fastball, and then that's a missile. And the Orioles get to go home.
Third career walk-off home run. Gatorade to the face from Anthony Santander. And Odor skies one into foul territory here toward the stands and out of play. A one-out triple for Adley Rutschman. First career major league hit, trying to score the first Oriole run in his first game. A night that's already seen quite a few firsts for Adley. First game, first strikeout he was behind the plate for, first walk, first hit, first extra base hit. Odor hoping he can check off one more box, but not here. Back-to-back strikeouts. Rutschman stranded at third after his first career hit. Here's where it was down the right field line. A moment he and his family will never forget.
For all those that are serving, have served in the past, and made the ultimate sacrifice, none of us will be where we are without them. So we're all so appreciative, and you know, it's just amazing.
Trey Mancini with a salute to the armed forces, and moments ago, hey, it's not the home run chain anymore, it's now the triples chain for Mom Carol Rutschman after Adley's first career major league hit. And there's Mike Elias, his first draft pick to make it to the bigs, and a handshake for Dad Randy, a hug for Carol. And Kevin Kiermaier is going to spoil all the fun. The nerve of him, nearly on a Utah straight. Kiermaier ambushes Bellman. His third hit of the game, and it's 6-0 Tampa Bay.
Well, he had 3 last night, all to left field. Tonight, 1 to left, 1 to right, and then a bomb. 5th home run. He's hitting about, what, 23 games now? He said he's trying to get the ball in the air. Did he ever? And all those 5 home runs in his last 23 games. Well, Brandon Lau out of the lineup for, I don't know, you know, with a stress fracture that has to really rest. Somebody has to carry the load.
416 feet for Kiermaier, and he has now surpassed his home run total from a season ago. He had 4 in 122 games, and as you just said, 5 in his last 23. Bellman gets a ground ball to third from Paredes, who is thrown out by Nevitt.
Yeah, made a nice play. You know, a lot of guys will backhand that ball, but he got in front of it, circled it. And then, of course, pretty easy throw.
Ji-Man Choi having a chuckle with Adley Rutschman. One of the real affable players in Major League Baseball.
You know, I met his interpreter coming up on the elevator, and you know, he's trying to find a press box, which he found because he was going to get off on the 3rd floor. I said, "You're a floor a little bit high," and he said, "It's all right." So what do you do? We'll get back to that.
We will. We got to get to our All-State mayhem moment now, and Randy Arozarena has caused considerable mayhem against the Orioles last couple of years.
Well, there's been 2 of those mayhem moments. First one is a 2-run home run, and then high fastball makes it 3-0 at the time. Now they would add some more runs, but for Kyle Bradish, those were the only 2 major mistakes. But when you're pitching 4, 5, 6 innings and you know it's shut out, you think you really had a bad night. It's just you make some adjustments and you hope for some offense. They only score a little bit over 3.5 runs a game for him.
Rays have hit 3 home runs tonight. Last season 222 for Tampa Bay. That was tied for 3rd in the American League. This season only 38 in their first 39 games, 8th in the American League, but 3 tonight.
What, the Jays, I believe, led the American League in home runs last year.
Jays, who are still scuffling a little bit, Toronto.
Well, everybody says, hey, on paper they look really good. Well, that's not how you win games, and you know they need to play better, and they probably will. Certainly like their 26-man roster. But again, you know, you look at Semien, what, hit 45 home runs. Now playing with the Rangers, struggling, but he's playing there. Kiermaier saying, "Why didn't you tell me, Kevin, how to do this a couple of weeks ago?"
It's a dangerous thing, Jim, when two Kevins get together.
Well, he is the manager of the year the last 2 years.
Chopper off the glove of Odor, who knew he was going to have to rush it.
Yeah, then it looked like it hit the seam of the infield and kick right. Wasn't going to throw him out anyway.
Probably an infield hit.
Take a look. I mean, high chopper. Look how fast out of the box, and then it hits maybe a little imprint in the dirt and kicks the other way off the edge of the glove. Because you do know you have to hurry.
That's an E4 against Odor.
Yeah, well,
Benjamin Dridipo, our official scorer.
They don't always get it right.
Decision. By the way, just out of curiosity, did you think double and E9 or triple for Adley on the hit?
Well, you got a guy that's -6 runs defensively, Phillips and Wright. You know, he didn't pick it. How about Yarbrough last night when he, couldn't pick up that little roller?
Ramirez just fights one off into center for a base hit.
And they gave him an error. I mean, it looked like it was routine type. That's a double and an extra base when he couldn't pick the ball off the wall. Now, was it an easy play? No. But I'm telling you right now, the other high chopper, he's not throwing him out. But again, it's only, either way, he's getting on base, and that's all you pretty much care about, other than the fact they can be earned or unearned runs.
Bauman against Vidal Brujan. And a ground ball wide of first.
Well, one thing about Michael Bauman, he can give you the multiple innings, and he's able to do that. Tonight, not a problem throwing strikes, even though he did give up the home run to Kiermaier.
Bauman has just had to play the role of innings sponge tonight after the Orioles used 6 relievers yesterday, 5 on Thursday. A lot of the Orioles premium relievers really need a night off, and some of them that needed a night off yesterday pitched. Brandon Hyde said, "I didn't want to pitch Baker yesterday. I didn't want to pitch Tate," but he had no choice. Had to throw 6 relievers. Nick Vespi was the last available reliever, and he threw the final 2 innings. That is popped up by Brujan. Adley Rutschman made it. Don't hear that kind of roar for a foul pop to the catcher too often, but it's that kind of night. There are a lot of Adley Rutschman jerseys out there in right field. The folks hanging over the flag court. Seen a lot of number 35s tonight. Adley Rutschman assigned that number for his major league debut on his Saturday night. We expect him to be in the lineup probably as a DH. Day game after night game tomorrow. Orioles will host the Rays 1:35. Jorge Mateo skies one to center field, and Mateo is 0 for 3. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC, helping to make banking easier, and by Papa John's. Get 50% off regular menu price pizzas at Papa John's all season long. Follow @MassonOrioles on Twitter for all the details. O's have been largely stymied tonight by the 4th best pitching staff in terms of earned run average in the American League. 2 hits, 4 walks. One of those 2 hits, an Adley Rutschman triple. His first career hit, one of those 4 walks, a Rutschman walk. He is the only Oriole hitter to reach base twice in the game.
Well, Jeffrey Springs did what you want a lot of the Oriole young pitchers to do, get an opportunity, and he was lights out. Josh Fleming struggles. They send him down to AAA to get some work. Next thing you know, Springs works his way, pitches his best game. And you can see from the scoreboard, he was almost unhittable. A little bit tired in the 6th, walked a couple of guys. Outstanding.
It's foul 1 and 2 for Mullins. Brandon Hyde said he really had fun writing the lineup out today. It's been a tough night for the Orioles against this pitching staff, but it is a really interesting 1 through 9. Feels like maybe the deepest, most talented lineup that Brandon Hyde has ever written out, with the addition of Adley Rutschman and the return of Ryan Mountcastle today. You have a lineup where Trey Mancini at 30 is the only player older than 28. Rutschman at 24 years old. Mullins the other way to left, and Rosarena put him away. Hey, this was a special moment over the weekend. Congratulations to the Maryland Terrapins, who yesterday, for the first time in 51 years, are conference champions. They won the Big Ten. They beat Purdue in a baseball game 18-7. That's a lacrosse score right there yesterday. First conference championship for Maryland since 1971, when the Terrapins won the ACC. We had Ryan Ramsey, who threw a perfect game, up with us a couple of weeks ago, and Luke Schliger, his catcher. And there is a base hit for Austin Hayes, his first of the night.
Textbook. Stay inside it, let the ball break, let it travel inside out. Don't try to pull it, because you do, the Walls will be catching it at shortstop. They're playing up the middle. A pretty good pitch to hit, because it stays up a little bit. You can see from this angle. And then we saw Rosarena do it last night. We've seen Diaz rifle that same pitch down the right field line. Then again, if you hit that pitch, then what do? They figure, oh, I can't pitch him away, so I'm going to have to come in. And then that's when you, especially on the road, we'll see some home runs from Austin Hayes.
Santander to try to get the Orioles on the board. You'd like to A, get some runs, and B, force Tampa Bay to go back to the bullpen. Kevin Cash is trying to get through this game with only Springs, Adam, and Garza, after he used all his available relievers yesterday. And the Rays did not make a roster move. That's into right field by Santander, and that will land in front of Phillips. A base hit. Hayes going to third. Phillips tried to throw there for some reason, just to show off the cannon. And it's first and third, 2 down. Orioles have a little rally here in the 8th.
Yeah, he tried to hit the cutoff man Walls, but it was just a little bit over his head. But you're down by 6 runs. I mean, here's the change up, similar to the one Odor hit for the game winner. And here's the arm we talked about, 99 miles per hour to throw out Oriole runner at home plate last night. And Kyle Snyder will come out and have a little, and they will get, I don't know if it'll be Brooks Raley. We saw him getting loose. He only threw about 5 or 6 pitches. O'Shea back up. Saw him last night. Who didn't we see other than Kittredge?
Nobody.
No.
We saw everybody in the bullpen besides Kittredge. That throw a measly 93 miles an hour from Phillips. Change up. We were talking to Austin Hayes about his throw yesterday. We asked if he had ever been measured on a radar gun. He said he had not, but he said maybe my throw was good. But did you guys see Phillips out there and right?
Well, he did say he got a little more of a running start than he did, but
Mancini the other way, and that eludes the dive of Brujan. And the Orioles are on the board in the 8th. Trey Mancini with his second hit. Hayes is home at 6-1.
Well, you get back in the game. I mean, you're down by 5. They have to get 27 outs before the game ends. So nice adjustments. You know that Garza, because he only throws maybe 91, 92, can't throw it by you. Hayes stays inside it, takes a breaking ball. This was kind of a fastball inside out, get a base hit. One of the few balls that Brujan can't catch. Tried to.
So Mancini with his second hit, his 16th RBI of the season, and now if Ryan Mountcastle reaches, it really gets interesting, because you know who's on deck. Mr. First big league hit is a triple. Oh, and 2.
The old sweeper. You think you've got it timed, and then it just keeps breaking.
.16 driven in for Ryan, tied for second on the team. And he will go down swinging. So Rutschman will have to wait, lead off the ninth. O's get 1, still trail by 5. Of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Get the emotion from Carol Rutschman, mother of Adley, in his first big league game. His first big league hit, a triple into the right field corner. Like Manny Machado before him, 2012. August the 9th of that year, Matt Wieters, May 29th, 2009 was his debut. Next game was the first hit. First hits, triples for maybe the last 2 Orioles whose debuts were as anticipated as Adley Rutschman. A strikeout, a walk, a triple for him. He has been one of the offensive stars of the night. But the Orioles have not had much success at the plate. Trailing 6-1 as Mike Baumann gets a pop-up to left from Brett Phillips. Well, we were wondering all week if this would be the week for Adley Rutschman. Would it be Monday against the Yankees? Would it be yesterday against the Rays? And Adley caught in Norfolk's game Sunday, had a day off Monday, and then was behind the plate again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It seemed like the Orioles wanted him to catch back-to-back days and then wanted him to catch a third straight. And when he was out of the lineup yesterday, eagle-eyed folks saw the Norfolk lineup, said Adley's not in it. Is he coming here? And then we get video from people down in Charlotte. Adley's actually there. He's on the bench. And he said he had no idea it was happening till not only after the Norfolk-Charlotte game last night, but after the Orioles game yesterday, which ended about an hour and a half after Norfolk's game.
Yeah, they said they were all, he said that they were all watching it in the locker room. So Adley's here. The Orioles will go to New York for 3, off day Thursday, doubleheader on Saturday. So when is the Grayson Rodriguez watch start?
I think it's already started for some folks. Yeah, Grayson, who has dominated in AAA, you would think would be maybe the next big player to come up. DL Hall just into AAA, a little further away. And the Orioles have slowly built up Grayson Rodriguez's innings.
Yeah, they usually let him throw, I think, what, about 85, 90 pitches max. So you could certainly do it in the big leagues. Of course, if you're efficient. Well, not too many guys throw, 15, 16 pitches. But if you threw 17, that's what, 5 innings?
85 pitches,
yeah.
5 innings.
Yeah.
Nevin, long run. Good play. Hey, it's time for our PNC Bank MLB update. Tools and technology help make it simpler to manage your finances. PNC Bank helping to make banking easier. Yankees beat the White Sox 7-5. DJ LeMahieu with a grand slam. Red Sox win again, 6-5 over the Mariners. And the Blue Jays defeat the Reds 3-1. Don't forget O's Extra, presented by PNC Bank, coming up after the game. Let's see if Trevor Story did anything today. 0 for 3. But Rafael Devers with a couple of home runs for Boston.
Yeah, they were down, I think, 5-1 earlier.
5-0.
5-0. Yeah. So they come back. Well, they're playing well. What did Alex Cora say? We're going to be like the Celtics, where we start slow and then come on. Of course, did you have a choice when you're playing? You're 14 and whatever they were, 22 or 3. Certainly seemed to be a better club than that.
And for Adley Rutschman, this is quite a way to get thrown into the big leagues. This is the schedule right now. You're facing the best of the best. You have the Rays at home. Then you go to Yankee Stadium, best record in the game. And then you go to Fenway Park, play the Red Sox. If you're going to come up, why not come right into the belly of the beast and play 3 of your divisional opponents tic-tac-toe, just like that. 2-1 Baumann to Walls. And a foul ball for the kids. Stick it out to the 9th inning. You get yourself a souvenir. That kid looks like a young me. Young me was very handsome.
Of course. You know, I was kind of looking at Adley Rutschman, and you know, one of the. Let's see. We'll go back to the snare.
Oh, in the hat. What a play. Yes. Victory is mine.
That's another hat trick.
Well done.
You ever catch a foul ball in the stands? Did you ever go? I mean, did you go to games when you were young?
I did go to games. I don't think I caught one on the fly. I went to a Mets game once where Derek Bell threw a ball into the upper deck, and my dad leaned over the railing and caught that on the fly. That was not a foul ball, though.
But it's kind of close to counting.
And my dad, before the game, we're sitting there. It's me, him, it's my Uncle Kevin, my cousin Rob. My brother Russ might have been there. I'm not sure. My dad says, now, kids, listen. We're in the front row here in the upper deck. You cannot lean over the upper deck. Any balls come up here, don't lean over the upper deck. You have to be careful. And then in the 7th inning, we're yelling at Derek Bell. He throws the ball. My dad just leans his whole body out, extends his arm farther than he's ever extended it. But he got the baseball. And that's what mattered. Hey, Adley Rutschman has one more at bat coming tonight. He'll lead off the home 9th. Somebody else gets a baseball first.
An inning, the 2 home runs, both solos. And then look at the batting average, low at 125. So 4th at bat.
This was Adley Rutschman's 3rd at bat and his first major league hit. Hooking a 2-strike pitch from Ralph Garza Jr. into right field. He turned it into 3. Everybody loved it, especially the family hugs all around. A triple for Adley Rutschman. And as we said a couple of times tonight, the oddity of this is the Orioles' last 2 probably most anticipated debuts. Manny Machado in 2012. First hit was a triple off Will Smith. Matt Wieters in 09. He went hitless in his debut. But his first hit the next day was a triple off Justin Verlander. And now Ralph Garza Jr. will forever be linked with 2019's first overall pick, as Rutschman tripled off him after walking against Jeffrey Springs, and he'll try to get on base 3 times in his big league opener. 0-2 from Poche, and there goes the helmet.
Yeah, I think the point that Brandon Hyde made, who manages the Orioles, was basically, you know, no matter how good you are, you got to come up and learn the league. They're going to learn you. Everybody's different, especially in this bullpen. They're all very, very, very good, which is why they're usually up there with the leaders in earned run average. I mean, last year their ERA was under 3 runs at home.
Brandon Hyde was pretty point blank when he spoke with the media before the game. He said, this is hard. Lots of young players struggle with expectations. I just want Adley to take good at-bats, and eventually his ability will take over. We've seen Bobby Witt Jr., Julio Rodriguez, Jared Kelenic, a lot of young players struggle. Spencer Torkelson, it's not easy. But tonight has been about as well as the Orioles could have hoped Rutschman would debut. And the thing about it, ever since he came out, did that little spin around and take in the crowd, he has never looked overwhelmed by the moment. Very calm, very controlled defensively, greeting his pitchers after every half inning, and very calm at the plate. And he's fouled off quite a few two-strike pitches as well.
Yeah, and if he gets on this time, he will. I mean, you know, struck out on Springs again was magnificent. Struck him out on a really good changeup. Then he walks. Then he triples. So he's been on base 2 out of 3 times, which is kind of his MO. And if he, even if he makes it out here, his on base percentage will be 50%.
And he held up.
Yeah, the last guy, obviously, the Orioles signed, #1 draft choice out of Georgia State, was Matt Wieters. You know, Matt a little bit bigger, maybe not quite as athletic, had a really nice career for the Orioles.
24th pitch Adley sees tonight, and he pops it up. A mile high to shortstop for Walls, and Rutschman retired. So unless the Orioles rally, his final line in his big league debut will be 1 for 3 with a walk and a triple. And the fans salute Adley Rutschman one final time in his first major league game. Trey Mancini showing him some love. A lot of talented young players in that dugout. A lot of talented young players in that lineup. They had some special nights the last 2 days. Tonight, Tampa Bay's pitching looks like it'll get the better of them. But when you could pencil in Mullins, Hayes, Santander, Mancini, Mountcastle, Rutschman, Mateo behind them, and some other talented hitters, things have changed around these parts. Things are different this year, and we have seen that time and again his first 2 months.
Yeah, a lot of the foundation pieces are already here. Mullins proved that, first 30-30 guy. This Ryan Mountcastle, 33 home runs, most of any rookie player last year. Hayes showed he had a great September, hit 22 home runs, can play the heck out of left field and throw. But you better be good if you play, and I'll reiterate, the American League East, as you said, the belly of the beast, whatever you want to call it. You get 4 teams, 91 wins or more, you got to play at a high level to be competitive. But they're a much more competitive team this year.
Sprayed his short
Poche, yeah. You know, again, I mean, Poche throws a little bit harder than Springs. Doesn't have the changeup, but mostly fastball, curveball. Tyler Nevin hits the hanger right to the shortstop. But just again, you know, spring pitch is great, but how good has their defense been tonight in the infield? Bruhan with some exceptional plays. So early on, this was a somewhat close game. And then they pull away.
Five hits, 4 walks for the O's tonight. Ball 1-2 Odor.
And it's not only the guys that are AAA. I mean, you know, the Gunnar Hendersons of the world, the Jordan Westbergs, he's what I think a AAA. So all these guys are trying to do what we all did, come through the minor leagues, have good years, and then you get a look.
Odor to left field. Arozarena trying to track it down, diving, and the ball gets by him. Odor will head for second. Odor will head for third. And it's a triple night for the O's. Second triple of the year for Rubned.
Yeah, way over in left center, which is kind of where you need to play him. And then how does this happen? He makes contact, doesn't strike out. This ball, I mean, this is a Ray Guy punt. It's in the air for a long time, but right down the line. peeling away from Rosarina. You slice the ball if you're left-handed, it's moving left to right, and it evades him. Of course, he's tired from his 2 home runs early in the game.
He's had an eventful night, hasn't he? Eventful couple of nights, really. The drop in left field, the key error in the 7th inning yesterday.
Yeah, 3-run error. Yeah. That's the other thing about him. I mean, this whole team, and we've seen the Orioles do it. Even Rutschman ran out the pop-up. The Rays, everything is full tilt. Nobody loafs. For Kevin Cash, nobody loafs to first. And I mean, we don't see him every day, but from what I've seen, it's like a sprint. Routine balls aren't routine if you're an infielder. And the Orioles, Mateo, we've seen that. And of course, that's how you win a lot of games and you play at a high level. You always seem to be undermanned or outmanned if you play for the Rays, but they keep winning.
Mateo trying to snap an 0 for 11. Keep O's hopes alive in the 9th. And the Orioles 1 strike away. One of the great sports days we'll remember here in Baltimore. The Preakness Stakes earlier today, of course. Just a day of celebration here in Birdland from this morning through the game, whatever the result is. Down goes Mateo, and Tampa Bay wins it. 6-1 your final score. That final score will be a footnote long forgotten. The headline, the debut of Adley Rutschman. His first walk, his first hit, a triple. The first of many, many nights we'll see Adley Rutschman in Orioles orange as we check in with Rob Long for Rose Extra.
Oh, as you said, Kevin Brown, it's all about Adley Rutschman, a night of first. We'll take a look at that on the other side. Also go back to the clubhouse, hear teammates' response, and hear from Orioles skipper Brandon Hyde. O's Extra, don't go anywhere. It's on deck.